You know what? Sometimes you have to just learn to accept and admit that maybe the problem is you. Sometimes the problem is you because you keep going around and around. You're looking at, you know, the people around you. You're looking at the dynamics of certain things, and you can't understand. You just cannot understand. As much as you try, for the life of you, can't understand why things are why they are what they are, why people act the way they do, why you feel so limited. You feel so limited. You feel like there's no room, like you can't breathe. You know, and yet you have things. You're not mm, scraping by the way that people. You're not at the bottom. You know, your life looks pretty decent in terms of you have your basic needs are met. You have a certain, certain the bills are paid, let's say. You have a roof over your head. You have the basics, right? And yet something feels like it's missing. It's just not right. It's just not right. Something feels like it's missing. And a lot of the times it's not things. Things are great, but the energy in your environment also matters. A lot of people don't want to talk about that, or they just come to accept it for what it is. Oh, it is what it is. Yeah, that may work for a while. That thinking may work for a while, just to help you get by. But you can't deny. You just can't deny the effects of a negative environment. You can't deny the effects of walking into a room where you know you're not welcome. You can't deny the effects of being in a house with plenty of things where you're unloved. It's just like you can sit there and tell yourself, oh, what do people say? Fake it till you make it. Yeah, you can try to do that. You can do that for a bit, and that could work. That can get you by, and just like pretend it doesn't exist. But what people don't like to talk about is it takes a lot of energy to fake. It takes a lot of energy to fake things. Fake it till you make it. Imagine how much more ease you would have if your home, for example, was a landing place, like a soft cushion from the world, the rough outdoors, right? Literally a shelter from the elements of life, the elements of the hustle and bustle, the elements of the grind that you face out there when you go to a job, let's say, or when you go to deal with the outside world in any way, shape, or form, right? So imagine if your home was actually that space for you. But if you have to go out, hustle and grind, fight, right? Blood, sweat, and tears, put yourself out there. And then you come home and you have to do the same thing, walk on eggshells, shut your mouth, shrink, make yourself small. It's the same thing. Everything's a battleground. Everywhere you go is a battleground. You have no place to really rest and recover your energy. You're constantly fighting. No wonder you're so exhausted, right? Because sometimes the day goes by and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. Well, yeah, you're tired from strategizing. You're tired from walking on eggshells. You're tired from overthinking every single move you make because, I mean, truth be told, you're uncomfortable. And sometimes we have to, fake it till you make it might be good for a second, but at some point you have to just be honest with yourself at some point. I mean, seriously. At some point you have to be honest with yourself and just realize, you know what, I'm too good for this. I can't do this. Right? This space, this environment doesn't work for me. This dynamic doesn't work for me. At some point you have to just accept the truth for what it is and then move accordingly. The sooner you accept it, instead of sitting on fake it till you make it, I'm fine. Fake it till you make it doesn't faze me. Fake it till you make it, I'm a robot. Well, you're not a robot, actually. You are a human being with real feelings and real needs, right? Sometimes you're hungry. Sometimes you're tired, right? Sometimes you're overwhelmed, even anxious, fearful, and things of that nature. And you don't have at least a space where you can land and breathe and take it easy. You're always in a fight. Not physical. Not a physical one. But mental. You're constantly working hard and striving for something. Defending something. You always have your gloves up and your guard up. You always have your gloves on and your guard up. Right? So that's not, first of all, that might be a season for some people. Like, at some point, you might need to do what you gotta do. Maybe you don't have the finances to make a move right now. Yeah. Maybe you're not able to just get up and go right now. And that's the reality. That's true. Sometimes if you were not born into any special circumstances where everything's taken care of for you, and you're the one that has to literally set the foundation for your life, including, resources and all. Sometimes you do have to accept things for what it is. Accept things for what they are. And the idea of faking it till you make it can really help you get by. Okay? It can help you get by. It can give you resilience and strength in moments. But don't be fooled. That energy is coming from somewhere. Okay? That energy is coming from somewhere. And the idea of you're a robot. Well, you're not a robot. You can try to fake it as much as you want to, but the body feels it. It's registering somewhere. And they say stress kills. And it really does, huh? I mean, not they say. Data shows. Stress kills. Stress ages you. So the more fighting and hustling you have to do, think about a typical day. How many hours do you work? How many hours do you work at your job? Do you work the typical 8 hours? Like a 9 to 5, something like that? Or even more? How many jobs do you have? Are you doing a standard full-time job and then that's it? Or are you working multiple jobs just to pay the bills? Okay, add that up. And then when you're done with that, and then you finally can take a break, right? And what break? What break? Go home to do what? Cook and clean, right? Laundry. Okay, but let's pretend it's a break. You finally take a break, meaning you're able to go home. That's the definition of break for now. You're able to go home. What are you going home to? Are you going home to anger? Are you going home to resentment? Are you going home to jealousy? Who's in there? Like who's in your house? What are you going home to? Are you going home to straight up hate? Or are you actually going home to a warm embrace, like, hey, how are you doing? How was your day? Let me give you a massage, like, or just a smile, like not fake smiles and fake, demeanors. But I'm gonna stab you in the back 2 seconds later. Talking about genuine welcome. Other thing, are you going home to people working on themselves? Like striving for something, working for something, working towards something, or are they just vegged out? Vegged out meaning they don't do anything. They're done working, they're done clocking in for the boss or working for the boss. They just sit. Okay. Or maybe they just spend the time like doing chores and things like that. Maintenance stuff. But that's about it. There's nothing else going on per se as far as dreams and goals or anything. That doesn't even exist in their vocabulary. Other people in your surroundings, where are they going? When you look at their day-to-day actions, where do you think they're going to be? A year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now. Oh, same place? Okay. So where do you think you're going to be? Be careful. Okay? Fake it till you make it, yes. Do what you got to do. Sometimes you are, don't want to say that word, but sometimes you are quote unquote stuck for a season. In terms of you have to be strategic about what your next move is. You can't just walk out into the street and just say, oh, okay, I'm on the street. Like, that's not better, that's worse, right? Now you don't have shelter. So let's not be radical about this. Let's be strategic and thoughtful about how we make decisions. However, don't kid yourself. Okay? Your environment does influence your energy level, your stress level, your mood, your demeanor, and then as much you can try your best, you can do your best to be positive. Try all you want, and you will be successful if that's what you genuinely want to do. But it's gonna take a lot of energy, a lot more energy. Imagine what it would be like. If you went home to an environment that was stable, first of all. Emotions are not high and low and, negative here, there, and everywhere. Imagine if you were in an environment where you are, even if it's neutral, you could take that. Let's say people are working on their own dreams. People are striving for something. Maybe they have to go to work just like the average person. Most people, unless they were born into abundance, I suppose. Most people have to go to work. And that's okay. That's nothing to be ashamed of. Okay? But imagine if you came home to people that were actually working on something, working on a dream, working on a project, working on something to better themselves in the future. You get the energy, first of all, even if they say nothing, the energy in the space would be felt, right? It would be felt. Like, you know that people are on something. They don't have a bunch of time to waste. They don't have a bunch of time to hate. Okay? They're too busy. People that are busy, people that are genuinely working on something and busy, don't have time to hate. They don't have time to watch your every move. And then try to steal your identity. They don't even see you like that. If anything, they see you high by. Yeah. If anything. Cordial, but quick. Yeah. Okay, they don't have time to waste. If there's a problem, hey, there's such and such problem, let's fix it. They're solution focused. They're not trying to spend an eternity on frivolous things. Right? But you know somebody's sad and miserable, aimless, even lost, right? When they have all this time on their hand to hate on you. No purpose-driven person has time to hate on another, right? When they're done, people that are aimless, I mean, pretty much losers. Like, those people are not winning. If they were winning, they would be busy, right? They have time to watch your every move, see everything you do, and then throw shade or hate on you, right? Why? Because they have nothing going on for themselves. If they had something going on for themselves, you wouldn't even be a topic. You wouldn't even be on their mind. You're doing your thing, they're doing their thing. That's it. So don't kid yourself in thinking that your environment, you're above your environment. You can handle it. You might be strong. And you might be able to handle it for a season, but your environment and whatever's in it is slowing you down. Whatever's in it in terms of energy. If the energy is positive, it will fuel you. It will boost you up. Worst case scenario, it'll keep things neutral. Like, it doesn't take away from you, right? But if you're in a negative, toxic environment where sometimes it's like here's the thing. You would rather have no one and know that you don't have anyone than pretend to have people in your corner, right? Like, you're looking at some people in your life and you're just like, why are you there? Why are you there? Like, you know they're not for you. You know they're not for you. If somebody is for you, you experience it. You feel it. But if someone is a hater, it shows. So you would rather be alone, knowing that you're alone, knowing that you have your own back, and then at least have things be neutral. You don't want to be around people taking away from your energy. At least be in your own energy, and that's it. Right? So don't kid yourself in thinking that your environment doesn't affect you. It does affect you. Whether you admit it or not, It does affect you. The only way for it not to affect you is for you to be a robot, or to not have any feelings. Like your feelings are shut down or turned off due to trauma or some other situation. Yeah, but if you are a fully functional human being, which is most people, and you are in a not even toxic, because sometimes toxic can be a strong word to use, but just a negative environment, an environment that doesn't fuel you, an environment that doesn't energize you, an environment that is low vibrational, it affects you, whether you know it or not. It affects you. It takes away from your energy. It makes you sad when you could be happy. It makes you overthink when you could be focused on something else. It is a giant distraction, especially when people are want to start something and are in their feelings because they notice something you did, and then now they don't know how to react around you, right? And then now you want to make a scene. It's a huge distraction, more than anything. So if you think you're gonna get anywhere, make anything happen in your life, and then you're in an environment, it's gonna slow you down significantly. A goal that you could have achieved in 24 hours is gonna take a week to achieve, and that's just an example. But just goes to show, it's gonna slow you down significantly because your energy is all over the place. You can't even focus. And if that's the case, honestly, if that's where you are and what you have to deal with, you would be better off just going to work. Because at least at work, the expectations are different. You're not dealing with uncles and aunts, and you know what I mean. And the expectations are different. They don't expect you to be buddy, lovey with anyone. Yeah, in fact, it would be weird. It would be weird if you were super overly warm with, let's say, a colleague. That would be awkward. Okay, so the expectations are different. And then you might as well be at work. At least at work, there's different expectations. There's a certain level of a certain standard of behavior that you have to have if you want to last on the job, if you want to keep your job, period. So most people, some people are risk takers, but most people are willing and able to abide and by those standards, primarily to keep their job, not because they're such great people, but they don't want to lose the job. Okay. Exactly. So then that having those standards of behavior, those protocols and policies and procedures in place, having those things set up, and then also to having everybody work towards the same goal where it's clear, having let's say maybe a leader or whomever say, okay, this is the target for today, for this week, for this month, or not, having everybody be clear on what the target is. You come in, you just do the job, and then you go. Okay. So, not to say that workplaces don't have their own issues, but at the core of it all, what we're saying is, if you're gonna deal with the same thing, basically the same immature behavior in your immediate environment at home, you might as well just go to work and deal with that. At least you have to deal with it, but there's a frame that people can't just, there's certain boundaries that people can't just allow themselves to leave. That would be weird, and they would get called out on that. right? And also too, at least you're getting paid for dealing with those problems. There are certain people in your life right now, so-called family or friends. People should pay you to deal with those people. You should be paid. Okay, there, and that's really what we're getting to. It shouldn't be just free. You just deal with certain people for free. What's that about? No. If you're gonna deal with certain characters, that should be fully compensated. Make sure you charge for that too, because some people are a piece of work. And they should know that. They should know they're a piece of work. It's like, well, you're a piece of work. I'm gonna have to charge you extra. Oh boy. They should know that. Oh, why? Well, Marie over here, she only does this. And she listens. And she doesn't cause any problems. If there's an issue, she's willing to resolve it amicably without raising her voice. You, on the other hand, you turn into a different creature. So that makes you a piece of work. I'm gonna have to charge you for that. Yeah.